Right. All right, guys. Good morning, everybody. Appreciate everybody getting on this morning. I knew this was gonna probably be one of those weekends we didn't have quite the turnout that we normally would because it's heading into the holiday week and all of that. People doing last minute things. But one thing about business is, you know, business gonna stay open. 24 hours, 24 hours a day. You know, 7 days a week. We still in business. You know, um, and while a lot of people are spending money, we need to be talking about how to make some more. Right. So today, George asked me if I would share something, and I wanted to go into, some information that we've reviewed before, but it's about, making sure that we're creating activity and tracking our activity. And, we know exactly what we're doing on a daily and a weekly basis, and we're looking at it. I always talk to our team about operating by a planner, operating by some type of daily plan. You can get you a cheap, right now you can get you a planner for $1 from the dollar store, whether you got one of them or whether you got one of your, whether you have one that's more expensive, whatever the case, just we have to have a way to monitor our business. I operate by this little thing right here. It's cost me $1 at Family Dollar. And I don't wore this sucker out, but it helps me to keep track of what I'm doing. If I see a bunch of blank spots on there, I know I'm not doing what I need to do. If I see a bunch of writing and scribble and all that, I know I'm on track. And so, but in addition to that, there's some things that I want to share that could probably help everybody. And then I'm gonna pass the mic to the next speaker. So let me share my screen. Okay. All right. So today, guys, I want to go back to our Tom Hopkins book that we periodically pull up, and it's just a few pages. I wanted to pull some things out of from this book. Now, at the top, you see, something shared that we often know. If you've been around the business, you know about Art Williams. You have heard this. If you haven't been, maybe you're brand new, well, this will be yours for the first time. The only two things you can control is your attitude and your activity. Your attitude and your activity, how you think and what you do. It's a whole lot of stuff in today's world we have absolutely no control over. So ain't no sense in us getting in an uproar about it if we can't make a difference in changing. You can speak out about some stuff, but at the same time, how we think, how we focus, and what we actually do on a daily and a weekly basis, that's what we got control over. So if we look at this, guy, it says these two things lead to sales, recruits, promotion, and ultimately income. And so if you, as they say, begin with the end in mind, we understand if the ultimate goal is income, because I don't think any of us came here just to be charity, just to do volunteer work. I'll put it like that. Okay. We love what we do and we know people need these services, but at the same time, we all want to get paid. We all want to move forward, but it has to start somewhere. We understand, and we have to share with our newest people that we can't it ain't just going to fall on your lap. All right. So we got to get our activity going, which is going to lead to all these things. Now, managing your activity is critical to your success. Now, you often hear us talk about 8-5-3-1. Now, we know that, and we've recently talked about, we're in the Zoom days, and we could, if you're aggressive and search yourself, you could do 8-5-3-1 in a day. Okay. And for those who don't know, 8-5-3-1, somebody tell me what 8-5-3-1 is. Make sure y'all be paying attention in class.
8, this Marvina, good morning, grand rising, everyone.
Come on with
8
that.
means 8 appointments, 5 will keep, 3 will do business, and 1 recruit.
That's it. Hopefully y'all heard her.
See? Did they hear me? I'm sorry. Were you able to hear me?
No. I'm just echoing what you said. We heard you loud and clear, Marvin. Okay, well, I did.
Set, keep, close, recruit.
Come on with that, man. Set, keep, close, recruit. We need some t-shirts made with that on it. You hear me? Yeah, I like that, man. Set, keep, close, recruit. And so we have to get that in our spirit, because yeah, if you're gonna push hard, yeah, you can do it in a day. We just need people doing activity. Do something, dadgummit. We can't be cool just letting day after day pass by and we have not moved our businesses forward. So you need to start somewhere. Okay, whether you part-time or full-time. We're gonna talk about that too. All right. So this just gives a rough, template of what a day could look like. We understand everybody's schedules are different and all that, but it just gives you an idea of how to manage your time in business, how to pace yourself. So it talks about 9 a.m. to 12 noon. You prospect. We talk about marketing your business, whether it be through social media, whether it be actually being out, connecting with people with a mask on, whatever the case may be, right? So we talked about that. Now that's if they mentioned that if you're full time, you're doing that all through the week. If you work during the week at those hours, then set a time on the weekend where you can pick up some new names and numbers. All right, we can connect with some more people, get referrals from other people. All right. Then it talks about from 1, it gives you a lunch break. Okay. Then it talks about from 1 to 5, follow-up calls and interviews. Okay. So you're meeting with people who have said, hey, I'm interested in some extra income, or you just following up with some of the people that you have already prospected. How many times have we got names and we ain't called? Or more often than not, because I'll call them. But if they didn't pick, a lot of times, I'm just talking about me. If they didn't pick up the first couple of times, I might move on, and I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't revisit them. Now, it might not have been guys that they didn't want to do nothing. It might have just been, they might have just been tied up. How many times you been tied up?
Huh?
And somebody tries to reach out to you and you like, man, I need to call so and so back. I really need to call, and you still ain't called them back. so don't act like you haven't done the same thing. So don't assume that just because the people didn't respond to your text, didn't respond to your inbox, didn't respond to your initial phone call, that they still aren't viable candidates for either business or becoming a client. All right. So, but the point on the sheet is, we have to set time to do it. See, you got to ask yourself, man, when do I make my follow-up calls? When do I follow up on my inbox? You have to plan for it, because I'm here to tell you, these days, to me, are flying by so fast. Yes, especially in a time where the daggum sun going down at 4:30. The sun come up, it's all bright, and then you look up and the sun going down, like, dang, what happened? Right? So if you don't pace yourself and set that time aside, it's going to be a problem. Then we talk about field training. You're going to get most people at home between 6 and 10 at night. We got to be, first of all, asking ourselves, who are we field training? Who are we working with? And it talks about that a little bit further on the next sheet. But you want to allocate time where you're going to do your standard KT or ZT presentations, with qualified potential clients. So you talking about Tanya Poe always talks about that while she was on her run to really get her business growing. Without fail, she made sure she had a 6 and an 8 appointment, a 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock appointment every day. Now, that's only really 2 appointments 5 days a week.
Come on.
See, we think about this thing in like it's so overwhelming. Like, oh, I got to do a whole lot. Okay, it's 2 appointments 5 days a week. That's really not that much, folks. And sometimes we act like it's a mountain to climb. And here's a mistake. Sometimes the leaders act like that's a mountain to climb. So if the leaders act like that's a challenge, your new recruiter ain't got a chance. We got to know that these are just basic things, man. What is an appointment? What, an hour? Hour and a half if you got kids running around, or all that kind of stuff. What? We worked longer than that in corporate America. I don't work 16-hour days, man, at corporate America. So we're talking about 4 hours, a 4-hour block of time. And if you full time, it should be more than that because you should be fitting in more stuff, throughout the day. But I'm just saying, put a pace and a plan in place. Hey, that rhyme. All right. Okay. Then it talked about
Say it again.
put a pace and a plan in place. Okay. Thank you, Mervyn. So, so look, then it talked about from 6 to 9 Sunday night calls. Now our team has implemented this in a particular way where now we are setting appointments from 6 to 7. Then we do some training from 7 to 8, and then we can continue on following up after that on to 9 o'clock, making more calls. But shoot, man, I pull our team together. We get on Zoom just like this, and we have DJ G throw some smooth jazz on, you know what I mean? And we set appointments together. And I tell them, anybody who gets a confirmation for the opportunity meeting, anybody who gets an appointment book, type it in the chat, and I take a tally of who has set, who has set what, who has confirmed what. And then whoever got the most invites and appointments set, by the time we get to the end, I send out a cash out, to the person who set or booked the most. Now that's just something we do. It's just something because we have to make appointment setting and calls a vital part of our process, because that will set your week up to come. All right, make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then this just gives a weekly plan, and it talks about full-time, part-time. We all know that if we're full-time, we ain't got no excuses. This is what we do. If you're part-time, you might have to juggle around your job schedule. Now, this is talking about 8531 as a week, as a weekly thing. If you do more than that, God bless America. So now we got 8 KTs, 3 clients. This is basically what Mervina was just saying. Okay, recruit one person. So if you recruit one, if you do this every week, you're gonna have 12 clients, and you're gonna have 4 recruits. Not a bad week, is it? Not a bad month, is it? Then you get 5 invites to the op meeting. Now some of this stuff I'm gonna amend and adjust, because if you need to be inviting way more than 5 people, especially with doggone the internet and social media and all this kind of stuff. Get that number up, okay? But it keeps you on pace. At least you just do something. Now it talks about prospecting 5 names a day. We should be doing more than that. But if you gonna, I put it like this, just as I said, just do something. How many names a day are you gonna work on? Okay. George used to tell us in the base shop, a lot of times he would say, hey, just start with 1 name. Just go get a name. Connect with somebody every day. So if you got 1 name a day, 5 days a week, that's still fine. You still moving your business forward. But honestly, for the folks that's on the call today, we should bump that up. But anyway, go ahead, bro.
And really, hey, I have been prospecting. I have been inboxing 30 to 25 people a day. Usually I try to average more than 30.
Right.
Because Ronell said do 25, but I ain't where Ronell is. And so you got to do a little bit more, right? But look, with a simple text, good afternoon, good morning, I hope you and your family are well. Do you know anybody that would benefit working from home or earning extra income? That simple script, not changing it at all. I ain't like none of their pictures, especially the people that we went to high school with and things, people that we somewhat know, right? The other one is, hey, do you know anybody that needs insurance or is paying too much for their insurance? Affordable rates, pay for 1 child, all the other children go on for free. And I got some appointments set. I got a full day set up tomorrow just off inboxing. And so George said that, I said all that to say, he said that 1 a day because we wasn't doing anything. He wasn't saying it because that we couldn't do 3 a day, because we go in and out of places all day, every day, especially back then.
Right.
And we don't say anything to anybody. Right. And so with the inboxing, you should at least garner some type of response. You know what I mean? You just got to get, some days you might not, but continually 25 new people each day. Look, then go back to the people you already inboxed that didn't say nothing. I inboxed some of them and they responded. They just didn't see that message.
That's right.
It might not have been on that day. Right. And so that's all. Look, he only said that, when you said the 1 a day, he only said that because most of us ain't doing 1 a day. But we really should be picking up 3 names. And if we full time, this is our job.
Right.
Right. Well, you should be getting 5 or more.
Right. That's good, Chuck.
Sorry for that rant.
Hey, can I interrupt for a minute, Brandon?
Go ahead, Mervyn.
I was gonna say, a lot of times you don't know what to say. I go to Brandon or somebody else in the business and look and copy out for theirs what they say.
You say that again, Mervyn, because she the queen of stealing my stuff. She done took about 18 of my posts. I'm like, look at her.
If you don't know what to say, or what, go to Brandon or Matt Hill, go to their Facebook page and look at what they saying and copy that. That's what I do. Right.
But I hope y'all didn't miss what Chuck said. What he said that he sent out to the people about if they know somebody they want to make some extra money. That's the same. Ain't no magic.
You ain't got to change it. We be thinking too much, trying to change up, trying to say something different. Man. Look, you ain't said nothing to this person. You ain't said nothing to them. So they don't know it's the same script. When you already done said that and you check back, then you say something else.
Well, don't put it in the chat. Don't put it in the chat, Chuck, so we'll know what to say. Don't put it in the chat.
I already told you, Yolanda.
Put it in the
chat. Yeah.
Yes, man.
So listen, guys, we're gonna move forward, but it's not what am I gonna say? It's say something, okay? And then not just once, every single day. We have to be on the case. I think that's what one of the biggest challenges in building your Primerica business, and not just the individuals that's on the call right now. I'm talking about across the board. When you have people that are not growing and not moving forward, it comes down to time and consistency. It comes down to work ethic. It comes down to staying focused over a period of time, not just doing it one day. It ain't no good sending out 30 one day and then you don't send nothing else out for the next month and a half. Anyway, I think we've made this point clear.
We exhausted that.
Yeah, we exhausted that.
Hey, Brandon.
Go ahead, bro.
Real quick, too, things that I've been using that's been helping me move mine forward is doing these videos, bro. I'm telling you, people love to watch TV. They love to hear people talk where they can actually see you.
Yeah.
You get that interaction. Even if they don't respond or set an appointment, you get people that like it or may just say, hey, great information or whatever.
Right.
Just go back in the inbox and just hit them. Hey, glad you liked my video, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
When can we sit down and talk? I done got a few appointments that way, man. It's a beautiful thing. I'm just
and real quick
out there. If you're not into doing 25 a day, do the 25 here. Do a video to this day. Do another 25 a day. Do a video this day. That's how I've been running mine, and it's been helping.
Good. And all he's saying, guys, he goes live on Facebook. And we talking about just for a few minutes. He ain't doing no.
Yes, I keep it 3 minutes or less.
Yeah, and he might talk about a concept or two
too, because I take certain slides of the presentation and just go over it, and then I just go live with it and just do it. You'd be amazed.
Right.
You'll be amazed.
So appreciate that, Norm.
Yep.
I messed that up, Yolanda. I messed that inbox, that chat up. That ain't what I say.
Yeah, I know.
Go
ahead. Put it in the group me, man. In the Future Millionaires group me.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me go ahead and move on because we got some other speakers that we have on the roster today. Okay. This here is just an activity manager, okay, to keep track. Now, whether you use something, whether you use this or something like this, I know Charles got some stuff on, Charles Whitener has some stuff on 12 Mighty Oaks that you can use. The point is, if you're not tracking it, then it probably ain't happening to the extent that you want it to. All right. And so there's a saying that says you have to inspect what you expect. We can't expect to make all this money, $1,000, $2,000 a week and all this kind of stuff, and we're not inspecting what we expect. And so I'm gonna run through this really quick. It's just because it's just talking about the things we need to be doing. So it's got the goal. So we're talking about the weekly goal: 20 prospects, 100 calls, 10 interviews, 10 invites. Okay, on the calls. Now somebody might be looking like 100 calls. That's a lot of calls. What are we talking about here? Okay, well, if you think about it, we got a lot of people and a lot of things we need to be doing to connect. So whether that be follow-ups from clients, that could be beneficiaries, emergency contacts, that could be referrals that people gave you. That might be some calls to the home office to check on a policy or something like that. You fit whatever it is, but it's calls pertaining to the business. It might be calling a new recruit, doing those 2-minute conversations, or calling a teammate. Those 2-minute conversations just to get them fired up and focused. And then you move on to the next. You fit whatever you want in there, but we have to be making business calls throughout the week, if that makes sense. All right. Then you got your KTs in there, or ZTs as we call them today. You got your IBAs. You got how much premium are you setting to do this week? This talk about 2,000 in a week, right?
That's
so
right.
That might be either 2 real good real good policies, or 4 small policies, 4 baby policies, right? Okay. So whatever it is, set a tone. If you're doing 2,000 a week, that's $8,000 a month that you wrote yourself.
That's right.
Then they talked about, and this is when we was doing smart loans and stuff like that, which we're getting back to that. We got the mortgage program rolling out. But you might fit something else in there since you don't have that right now. Who need a prepaid legal that you ain't doing on? What about a Vivint? Some of our ancillary products. I just wanted to use the word ancillary. That's the only reason I said that.
Good job, Brandon.
Thank you, sir. And then so we got our our side dish products, that stuff. Then we got mutual funds and stuff like that. I've had 4 mutual fund appointments this week, working on 2 rollovers, and a couple of people starting investing for the first time in their lives. Okay,
that's awesome, Coach. That's awesome.
Yes, sir. So and if I do that every week, that's gonna build up. All right. Then you go down here, guys, and you look at, okay, what am I doing? And then what is my team doing? What am I doing personally? And then what is the team doing? Because the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. And so we always got to be working on our personal follow-ups and our personal appointments and our personal premium and all that, but also focus on what is the team doing as a whole. And then it's just got some slots that you can fill out to track what your appointments being, your prospects, and your interviews, okay, and your invites. So I don't care if you pulled a blank sheet of paper out and did something like this, guys. It's helpful. We're business people. Business people track business things. I'm gonna say that again. Business people track business things. There is no business, whether you talking about McDonald's or mom and pop shop on the corner, they're tracking their stuff. We don't do enough of it, but we have to operate. Sometimes we treat Primerica too much like it's a hobby.
Come on.
Okay, well, maybe it's a hobby for somebody to just want to make $50. But if you're trying to build a big business, you trying to replace your income, get rid of that dead end job, get to ownership. We ain't gonna get there if we're not tracking what we're doing. Make sense?
All the sense in the world. Go fishing if you ain't gonna make no money.
Thanks, Rodney.
You welcome. Blue givers, baby.
Right.
You welcome. Come on, Tug.
Go
I'm
fishing,
in the building, baby.
Hey, Rodney, don't tempt me.
Oh,
Go
blue
fishing.
I love fishing.
But I want to eat bluegills and count money. I'm gonna eat bluegills while I'm
Right,
watching my pen the bid.
I'm teasing.
Hey, man, I'd rather buy fish than go fish
Yeah.
Oh,
with the money
That's
that
what
I
I do all
made
the time.
from my business.
I love fish.
All right, guys. Shoot, I want some fish right now. Y'all done said fish too many times. I'm hungry.
Fish.
You hear me? Okay. So look, I'm gonna wrap my segment up with this last sheet, guys. This talks about it kind of brings it all into focus. All right, it says how to max out your week. Okay. Hang on a second. How to max out your week. Focus on 8 presentations per week. All right, Sunday night calls from when we talked about this, just kind of puts it in a different light. Now, when making your calls, these things are important. Priority number 1, set up field training. What does this say right here?
Who am I training?
Say it again.
Who
On my training.
Who do I have that I can take that person and run, and we can get together and we can set this thing up and line our week out, line our days up, where we could get some traction, man, with that field training bonus and all that kind of stuff. All we got to do is get 1 or 2 people sparked. Okay. Now, because everybody ain't gonna move at the pace we want to move. However, the goal is to be training. If you're full-time and if you're a field trainer, your goal is to be training 10 unlicensed reps. Now they ain't all in the field at the same time. That's why it says down somebody like, well, 10, how am I gonna do that all at one time? I used to worry about that stuff. How can I train all these people? And then George helped me understand, man, they ain't all about to move at the same time. I had, because I used to think, especially when I was part-time, I was like, man, how am I gonna get this done, man? He like, man, just find somebody that want to run. Because everybody that say they want it ain't acting like they want it. But you're gonna find enough people that want to move that you're gonna be able to line your week up and keep your business growing. It says work with the most ambitious, the ones who show up, the ones who what?
Show up. Show out.
Show up. Half of winning in this game is showing up. Just being on the call, man. Being on the opportunity meetings, being in the trainings. We got folks that we have recruited directly or indirectly through our team ain't showed up to nothing.
Mm-hmm. Not once.
But I ain't focused on them. I keep in touch with them. I shoot them a text message, but I want to work with who's on the computer screen right now. Who am I seeing on the Zoom? Who's in my inbox? I mean, who's in my ear? All right. Anyway.
Hey, some of them pay their money and then go on a cross country run.
Literally. You ain't gonna see them no more.
I ain't bring my phone with me. I'm just passing Georgia.
Man, it's crazy. I don't understand people donating $124 to Primerica and then getting abducted by aliens. Anyway, priority number 2, personal appointments. Confirm your 6 and the 8. There go the Tanya Poe flow. All right. Carry back appointments during the day or 8 o'clock, your last appointment of the night. These are follow-ups. You're not going to close everybody on the first time, and it's okay. Some people you need a second appointment for anyway. Art was always taught, build relationships with the people, have a couple appointments with them anyway. So your week should be made up of new, fresh appointments that you're setting, but also follow-ups from before, from the week before, okay, or from a couple of weeks before. Whatever, just have that as an ongoing rolling situation. Then to talk about overbooking, okay, setting more, because we're gonna have some dark zooms, right? I think me and Chuck got dark zoom yesterday. I'm like, man, where these people at, man?
I was talking to you for 10 minutes and look, man, let me end this Zoom.
Right. Okay. Look, man, create a drop-by list. We call it a hit list. I know Darla calls it a hit list. You should have a hit list, because I ain't dropping by nobody's house right now. But anyway, we should have a hit list of people we could just call. Maybe we've already talked to them. Maybe we already planted the seed. We just need to follow back up and see if we can. It may be that as they say, that low hanging fruit that's just sitting there. Oh, this dude told me about a month ago he wanted to make some money. Let me hit him up, see what he's talking about. All right. Then it says what time do they get home? What's the latest you can pop by? I was supposed to have an appointment, didn't happen, but I was supposed to have an appointment last night at 9:30. Now most people stop doing appointments after 9 o'clock. Well, shoot, if you all gas no brakes, you ain't got no time limit. I didn't care if the dude had hit me at 11 o'clock at night. I was gonna meet with him, but he failed, so we're gonna get him today. But anyway. And then this just talking about keeping your track of your referrals and running them. And the thing it says down at the bottom, guys, as I wrap this up, it says discipline. Do the things that others won't, so you can live the life others don't.
Come on, man. So could you say that again?
Why don't you read it, Chip?
No. Go for it.
I read it.
Come on, Mervyn.
Do the things that others won't, so you can live the life.
Come on now. You can't.
I was getting excited because I want to live a life that others don't.
Try it again. Do it one more daggone time.
Hey man, she might bite her tongue or something. Don't make her do it.
Come on, give her another shot. One more shot.
She on mute now.
You're on mute. We can't hear you.
Do the things that others want, so you can live the life others don't.
That's
Come
it.
on, man.
I got it, Chucky Chuck.
Go ahead.
That's
I'm
it.
proud of you.
That's it. That's what we talking about. So guys, I'm gonna wrap my segment up right there. We gotta have these things in mind. Make sure we're focused on the right things, right? Don't major in minor things. Okay, you can spend a whole lot of time doing stuff that ain't gonna pay you, that ain't gonna bring you no growth in your business. Don't do that. Focus on the stuff that's gonna matter, that's gonna drive your business and move you forward, and track that stuff on your way to success, and we're gonna go win together. So, Coach, that's all I got.
Man, that was a great job, Brandon. And we got to internalize this stuff. And I was thinking as you were talking, I said, we got to speak victory. We got to thank God for the victory of doing what he said. We got to start speaking in the affirmative of that we're moving in the direction of doing the right things with the business. And he gave us some great tips. We're moving in that. That's going to be our victory march to doing those things in the positive. Also, the other thing I was thinking about yesterday on the call with Charles Whiteley, we had the general counsel of the entire company. Anybody remember his name? I think it was Sam something.
It was Ben.
Ben.
It was Ben.
Rogers.
Oh, Sam, huh?
Ben
You
Rogers.
didn't change the man name, Coach. That's Ben, man. That was Ben.
I
Coach.
said
I think it
Sam.
was Sam. Man, name was Ben.
A change gonna come. Sam Cook. Okay.
But check out what Ben said. Ben said when he got hired by Primerica, and Ben probably makes about $5 million a year or more. But when he got hired by Primerica, he said that he called his mother and told her, I made a decision. I'm getting ready to go and work with Primerica. Now, Ben is an attorney. He's gonna make all that money. He signed a contract to make all that money. And he said his mother told him, say, fine. And say the next day she called him and said, Ben, I've been reading about this company on the internet. Are you sure this is a good company? And he had to go into the things that we do and how we help families and how we work with the Miller Market. So he had to convince her that it was a good company. Now, fast forward to us. Well, see, one of our dilemmas with our recruits is they're getting that. We just talked about the ones that disappear, that donate to 124 and so forth. They're getting that. I got that the next day. When I showed up at work and said, hey, I found us something, we all gonna be rich. And at that time it was called A.L. Williams. They said, oh, no, man, no, people had never been to a meeting or anything. So they didn't go to the internet, but the internet, and that's what I was talking about the other day. I say I get pissed off when people talk about, they had some chick on the internet that, talking about Primerica. And they had a guy talking about Primerica, whose names I had never really, it wasn't Lisa Jones or Rob Davis or any of that, but they were giving their opinion about Primerica, putting it down. But see, some of us on this call, we know we paid death claims. We know we have. We know we've went in houses and people didn't have no kind of coverage. Those of us who are investment licensed, we've done rollovers. We've made money. We've traveled with the company. We've met some of the big stars in the company. And so we got to understand that we got to handle objections before they come up. We might need to start talking with new recruits about that crap that's on the internet. I ran into it by accident. I put in Primerica instead of, because whenever I go Primerica online, it pops up in the computer, Primerica online. That's the first thing I see. Well, this particular day, it was a whole page of that crap. Now you think about in this age, you hire a new recruit and they go to their computer that night or whatever, and they hit it and all that crap pop up. You better prepare them for that. We used to prepare people for that. Darla may remember this. I think Carletta was on for a minute, but we used to tell people, say, look, now there are going to be some people who might try to talk you out of this. Some of your families and friends, they never been to a meeting. They don't know. We're telling you, this is a company that's on New York Stock Exchange. We want you to understand that. Because it's a bunch of, we got a lot of people who, as this movement is marching on, they looking at it and saying, man, we got to try to stop this thing. We got to try to stop it. And so understand that with your recruits, understand that with your associates, that you got to strengthen them internally. And the earlier you do it, the better. Because some of those who disappeared, they ran into that crap and they start looking at you twisted after that, saying, what is this about? And so that's something I want to share. So to talk with us about, as we actually go out and help people, and as Brandon called the Z, well, you call them KTs, the KT process, which was kitchen table. Now we call it the ZT process, which is the Zoom table. But anyway, as we go out and help people, there are some tools that we have that I want to be shared with you. And to do that, none better than one of the greatest at the KT or the ZT, Miss Darla Campbell. What you got for us this morning, Darla?
Darla!
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody.
Go ahead, Coach. That's my Coach, Charles.
My name is Charles. I know Charles.
Call you what I say.
Charles.
Would you let Darla talk? Go ahead, Darla.
All right. So when I came into the business, we always were talked to about always being a student of the business. And so we can't wait until these training times here on Zoom to study and to become the student of the business. I used to always follow Carletta and her sister around because they were definitely students of the business. And I wanted to know everything that they knew. The only thing was a requirement was that I was doing numbers. I had to have some numbers or they didn't give me the time. And so I always wanted to know what they knew. So I always did the numbers so I could find out whatever, and I could take up as much time as I wanted to take up with them. And so they talk to us all the time about practice, drill, and rehearse. Not waiting until we get in front of the client to do that, but to enhance our skill level, before we get in front of the client. And so as I was sitting down, I was thinking about all the awesome training that we got this week and how people could actually go over and to review it. Then it came to mind, we have other tools, just like Brandon always reaches back to Tom Hopkins, or he reaches back to the building the hierarchy, super hierarchy. We have other tools that will help us every day. And if we just study those tools, it'll give us the information that we need to know in order to know what questions to ask when we're dealing with people. But I use these tools just to learn the processes. And I call people that I know and ask them if they would help me. And like I kind of recited that this morning. We used to have where we talked about when we set appointments, we would say that we've gotten excited, and we've gotten involved into a new business, and we want to get their opinion about it. Now, we do and we don't care about the opinion, but people love to give us their opinions. And so in doing that process, I asked them, would you help me with my training? I need y'all to sit through this for me and tell me what you think about it. And so these are tools that we can use. Do I have control, Brandon?
Yes, ma'am. You got it.
Okay. These are tools that our national sales director put in place for us that we can use. And believe it or not, just walking through these processes with people, they'll start telling you things that they have that we would have never known if we hadn't gotten to the process. So this is our KT booklet, which is on 12 Mighty Oaks, and we can download it from there. But even just when I say practice, drill, and rehearse, just going through and looking and see what it says. Well, on the very first page, it talks about, and this is an area we're a little skeptical of doing, because the first thing that it says, what areas can you find to increase your net disposable income? And that's just looking at areas that we spend money in currently that we can look at reducing. And the first thing that shows up on there is cable, and that's kind of a sore spot for people because people don't want to get rid of any of their cable benefits. But as people go along, and we don't have to spend time on that, but we can look at areas and just kind of role play this out and ask people just to, what they're spending on those things currently, and looking at ways to reduce the spending so we can come up with money to help them to get their families protected. And so when we go down to the lower part of that page, it also has the income replacement table, because that's the most important part of our dime. And so we don't have to guess about, how much we need to have coming in for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, for the next 15 years. It's a chart on there that tells us that we can just plug that figure in to the dime. We don't have to guess about it. We don't, we just kind of round numbers and use, off the top of our head, what a person makes monthly, multiply that times 12 and put that annual fee there. But there's a chart there. These are tools that are already set up and created for us. So we don't have to go and reduplicate the system. Then we go to the next page, and it's talking about the dime. The good thing about this dime is it has it for the primary and the spouse, which the dime that we use, it just really has space for just one person. And so it tells you what you're wanting to put in those different areas, dealing with the debt and death, the income, the mortgage, the funeral expenses, and it shows you what to plug in for education for the child. Then it asks for a total. But then next we can ask the client, make sure we have their name spelled correctly, but we can ask them their dates of birth, and we can find out if they're tobacco or non-tobacco users, because that's putting us in position to be able to go and to get a quote for them. And below that, you have your triplicate of choice. So the things that we're asking, what do you have as your existing plan? And guys, all of this can be just an example of role playing or asking someone to help you with your training to enhance your skill level, to get your understanding better and move it through the process with people. And once you get through walking through a lot of this information, people will tell you if they know of someone that may have a need for what it is that we do. And so we have our triplicate of choice. We find out where people are, and then we do a triplicate of choice so they can see, that we can put something in place for them that can meet their need or their budget in their household currently. So the next page that I want to talk about is where we talk about the preliminary financial needs analysis. And that's what Carletta had gone through the other day. She went through a financial needs analysis, but this is just something preliminary that Charles Whitener put into there so we can kind of make sure we're picking up all the money that's on the table. Just asking them questions like, are you retired? What's your monthly gross income? Do you get a tax refund at the end of the year? How much is it? Do you have a will? So this looks at and gathers information for those ancillary products as Brandon was speaking of before. So these are the things that we can do to even fill in the schedule that he gave us previously, on making sure that we have something to do. So that's how we go and find out and ask the questions. Do you have any retirement assets at old jobs, at previous jobs, at current jobs? Things that we may not think about asking as we're along the way, but this is just giving us a guide. Do you have any other assets, any checking account, savings account? People got a lot of money sitting in CDs and in savings accounts. I'm talking about $25,000, $30,000, $50,000 just sitting in a bank at less than 1% return. Do you have any IRAs, bonds, mutual funds? Do you want a retirement plan or a mutual fund? Hello, son. Would you allow us to perform a home and auto insurance price reduction review on you? Then this part is the part that you fill in to get ready for a debt consolidation. Do you have consumer debt? Is that something you would be interested in? And, a debt solution plan to eliminate that debt. Future planning. Are you planning to provide for your children's college? Current education savings balance, monthly contributions. Do you want a college fund? Do you have an emergency fund? Current savings balance, monthly contributions that you're making currently. Do you have health insurance? Is it an individual or family plan? What is the name of your health insurance company? And that was when we had our health program, but still it doesn't hurt to ask those questions, because people like to have information on health insurance. If so, are you part of a work-sponsored group plan or individual plan? We would like to see if our company can offer you a cost-effective plan. What are you currently paying per month? May I see your policy so that we can begin a comparison of benefits and costs? And guys, those are the things that people need to know, where they are and what they presently have. And that's basically what that preliminary financial needs analysis does for you. But again, it helps you look for the money, where the money is, in order for people to see what they can do to reposition themselves. The next thing this KT booklet goes into is helping us continue to stay in business, because it gives us the form that talks about our beneficiary and emergency contacts. We can list all that information on this page, and we can compile all that information at that point in time to keep ourselves moving forward in business. That's 5 more appointments, guys, that we have with that program. Then you have the beneficiary information form that just basically sets it up for us to deliver to the client. And we can do that, but everything can be done, guys, by way of sending an email, because we always want to make sure we have an email address, because that way we can stay in contact with clients, because addresses and phone numbers are constantly changing. But if we have an email address, we can always communicate with the clients by way of emails. Then here is the part that what Chuck was speaking of. There's scripts in there. There are linking scripts that we can put in. These are texts that we can send right here in this KT booklet. This is a client linking script. The one at the bottom is a text linking script. Those things are all written out already in this KT booklet. This is a document that we can just walk through and share with clients, have them give us names and numbers, and then have that text sent by them to let them know, to introduce you as the person you're going to be contacting them. The next portion we have, and this is a great portion, even though we don't have a security license, guys, it's a lot of money sitting there in old jobs that can be moved into a fixed indexed annuity. We got that ability to do that with our life license. So we can talk to people about in-service distributions? Do you have anyone working over age 59 and a half? This gives us all of the information that we need to ask or to say, and why we're asking or saying that information is written here in this document. Follow-up information on that, to help us keep ourselves in business and to move through business. The next section, again, just talks about the fixed index annuity, questions that we can ask because we have a life license. Are you 59 and a half and still working? Have scared money in a CD? Have you left a job in the last 3 to 5 years? If I could give you a blend of all the good aspects of mutual funds, pensions, and CDs, would you participate? Do you need all your money right now, or would you sacrifice your access to protection? Do you want an income that will last just as long or longer than you? So all of these things are questions that, you can take different parts of this and just pique people's interest, because sometimes people don't want to talk about insurance. Well, people like to talk about money. So if you could just pique their interest, just asking them basic questions, when they just go through that series of questions and ask them, that's how we can find out if where they have money sitting at, or if it's on old jobs. This is a evaluation where you can actually plug in just different information on how it works, and plug in information to help them understand, the process that, of how to look at what they have and what it can do for them through that period of time. So I won't get into that in depth, but I'm going to the next page, which is our STEAM page, because this is a great recruiting thing. I know Charles Whitener always says one of the mistakes he made is not steaming people, because that's really our business. We are in the people business. Just walking through this process can give you a quality of person that we're looking for in this business. Who do you know that's ambitious? Who do you know that's enthusiastic? Who's most competitive that you know? Who's the best teacher that you know? Who's the best salesperson, non-party, unemployed, and does not want to be, concerned with job security, part-time with six-figure potential, or other? This is a great page, and there's another text script down at the bottom that we can give to that person who we're talking to, and they can forward it to 10 people that they know in order to introduce you and generate more business for you. Each one of these steps is a generator of business for us. I like the family tree because, just walking through that process, we have family members that we still probably have not talked to today, or have not given a presentation to today. And I like the process because whether the person is living or not, they had lineage that actually, are still here today that we can get to. So the family tree is a great vehicle in order to build names and develop list of people from in that process, which is one of the processes that we use when we bring a person into the business to get them started. And then we have our inventory list. This is the list where we take them through the qualification process, because we want to know when we're training, who we're training, because again, the business will do what it's supposed to do if we're in the right market. And there is a market in the business that we do. And that market is 4 and 5 pointers. And we do 3 pointers, single women with children, because it's a great market to be in also. So we go through that process, and that actually helps us and tells us what's going to happen in our market when we're out training. So that's the reason for building and developing that list, so we can keep business going. The next page is talking about the theory of decreasing responsibility, which is talking about what we do for families in order to make sure we have them on track for financial independence for them and their families. And I like this process because you know, people always wonder, well, why do you all do life insurance first? Because without replacing our income, none of the rest of what we're doing for families matters anyway, if we don't have the income coming in. So we want to make sure we protect that income. And then we want to make sure that we put an emergency fund in place, 6 to 8 months of emergency fund savings, whatever that amount is, to keep our households going every month. And then make sure that we're on track to have a secure retirement, is what the theory of decreasing responsibility prepares us for. But it teaches us about the cash value life insurance, the 4 funny banking rules, the difference between cash value life insurance and buy term and invest, the difference. And these are the questions that so often that Chuck, Charlotte, and Brandon explain when they're going through the buy term and invest the difference concept. The 4 funny banking rules are down there at the bottom, you know, so we'll know what it is they're explaining when they go through that process. And then these are the only 2 things that we had, guys, when we first came into the business, was this page and this page. Okay, that's all we had to go build our businesses with. And so right here, it talks about 2 refrigerators, how your money really works. And most of us would buy the first refrigerator because it cost us $2,000. And then for 36 years, it was guaranteed. And at the end of that 36 years, we got our $2,000 back. So we all brought refrigerator A, okay? But what we didn't know was over that period of time with refrigerator B, they would take $1,000 that we paid them for that refrigerator. The other $1,000 they took and they invested it. And then at the end of that time, they would give us 0 money back, okay? So it said, if you had $2,000, which refrigerator would you buy? So we all bought refrigerator A because, again, we paid $2,000 for it, we used it for 36 years, and we wanted our $2,000 back. Well, this is where the rule of 72 came in at, is because they took that other $1,000 and they invested it. So depending on what return they got on it, whether it was 3, 6, 9% return, then they made money off of that and gave us $2,000 back. So, you know, it's what we did not know and understand about money. And so that's what, you know, when I got really more involved into, you know, how money works. And then we use this page that talks about bank A and bank B. It just kind of breaks down how insurance, a different way of looking at how insurance actually works. So this is an awesome document, guys, that we can go through and just educate ourselves and get an understanding ourselves on what's going on. And then it shows us how to get referrals, because if we go through and we explain that information to people and we ask them, do you think this is information that people need to know, you know, in our communities, and just let them know we're looking for people because we have to get more bodies out here so we can help get this information out to the people in our communities. And so if you've done a great enough job in that process, people don't mind giving you referrals. That was just never a challenge for us to get 10 referrals. And that's what we're supposed to do while we're building a client base for people as we're training them. So then we come up on the ancillary products. It covers everything that we do, guys. It says, are you paying too much for auto and home insurance? Make your wishes known with your legal protection. Are you ready to become debt free? So it's covering everything, all the ancillary products and everything that we do. And then the last page just has an agent follow-up notes, you know, that we can make notes on when we're supposed to come back to see the person, what it is that we're supposed to be bringing back to them, you know, in that booklet. We can actually fill those notes out in that process. The last page gives us an outline, a checklist. Did you complete each of the following? Leave with your client the following: the privacy statement, that is exam 1, pre-screen. We don't have to do that one anymore. That was the saliva test we used to have to do. The Primerica Secure brochure, the 101 reasons you need PLPP brochure. We were taught how to go and pull those brochures up and drop them in the chat or either email it to the client. The Debt Watchers brochure, we don't have that anymore. The 6-page presentation brochure, if you want to send one of those brochures to a client. The Turbo Life and IBA leave behind papers. That's the disclosures that we're supposed to be leaving or getting to the client, so they would have that in their possessions. And then it says, tell your client the following: advise them of the tele-underwriting interview if necessary, invite them to the opportunity meeting. Let them know that they may receive a phone call from your support staff to make sure all programs are in place. Pick up the check or remind them to write the amount in their checkbook ledger, since there will be an electronic draft on their account for that policy. And get them on the phone with Primerica Secure as you leave to let them save money for their car and homeowners insurance. So guys, this is what we do in a nutshell in this booklet, but we have to take up on ourselves to gather this information and to get out here and go and study and make ourselves better in that process. So I didn't want to, I know it comes times where we can get into bits and pieces of it, but because we can elaborate on it a lot more. But those are tools that we can study ourselves in order to use them, put them to use, because practical application, guys. We can study, we can be on here, we can share all this information. If we're not doing anything with it, let's go mess some stuff up in order to get good. I'd laugh at myself after the appointment because I knew I'd mess up, but I come out of there with everything I was supposed to have. And I have to sit there for a minute and just laugh at myself. I said, I messed up, I jacked it up big time. And they don't even know it, because they don't know what we know, guys. You got to do something in order to get good.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Again, everything that we had this week was in that booklet. We just got to put it to use, and we can go to 12 Mighty Oaks and download it.
And Darla,
so yes.
And those booklets, the district and a KT booklet are so helpful, because that gives you something in your hands that you can study. And just by studying that book, you become better. So that was great information.
Yes. And guys, those annuities and that, I tell you, all my clients have the double dip account, because I came along in the era where the double dip came into existence. So all my annuities have the double dip account, and it's a great account because it's, instead of that money sitting there working for the institution, it needs to be working for our families. And that's just, I look at it as an additional account where, since that money is tied up in an annuity, that other account, if they come into where they need money, they can have accessibility to it without, having to surrender charges with their annuity. So it's a great program. And like I said, all my clients have the double dip account attached to it. So it's a great program. And that's what I have to share, George.
Great job, dog.
Coach, I know I moved too fast, but
I'm just talking and I'm on mute. Awesome presentation, Darla. And when we talked last night, we talked about, as you go through that book, there's so many things in there that it can be attached to additional classes in the future, how it details that in-service distribution. Remember, I said you familiarize yourself with the securities concepts and definitions, and then when you start studying for it, it's going to come to you second nature. I had no problems with the security exam at all, because I read all of the brochures. I was familiar with it. I knew what NAV was. I knew what those things were, and so it wasn't something new I had to learn, because it was always in my head. And so that booklet, like she said, holds everything that we do in the field. Then another thing we have with some of our people are technology challenged. And if you haven't, you are going to run into some clients who don't have the internet, who don't have a computer, who don't have the Zoom capability. Even when you explain it in detail over the phone, how to do it and so forth, they have difficulty in getting into it. They're intimidated by it. So that's a helpful book. I also told that's something that you can study and have beside you sometime when you're doing your Zoom appointment, where it will build your confidence, where you'll know. So that was great information. I'm gonna cover something real quick. Rodney's on the phone, and he and I have been talking about a number of things, and he was telling me about, Rodney is the head of our Illinois strategy, and that's one of the things that Charles talked about yesterday, Illinois, moving into Illinois, not ignoring it or anything like that. So I wanted Rodney to take a few minutes. I asked him about when he gets a new recruit started, what does he say, and share a few things about that. Rodney Richardson, you still on?
Yes, sir. And I'm at my barber house getting ready to get fresh. But I'm gonna give how y'all doing?
All right.
Good. Real quick, I know George wanted me to share. Well, the first thing I do, George, coach, is I ask the new recruit what they want out of primary. You know what I mean? Some people come here for an extra 500 to 1,000. Some people come to
He froze.
Can you hear me?
Now we can. We couldn't hear.
Come on, Tug, stay in one spot now.
Can y'all hear?
Yes,
Yeah, a little bit.
We can now.
All right, listen. Okay, listen. So I ask people they want out of primary and things of that nature. That's the first thing I sit down and ask them what they want from the deal. Once I find that out, what I do then is I try to get them to do what's called a 4 to go. 4 to go means let's go out here and find 4 people right now that we can go see and get some plans in place and start making you some money. Now, most of the time I do it on the front end, but if they do that in a week, what they did is they qualified for a contest that I run every week now that I'm running for people. So the new teammates, what we do is I put together a plan, a strategy called the grow up plan. So I'm asking each recruit with a temp license or permanent license to do 18 to 2,100 hours worth of business a week. Because most people think they grown when they begin to be 18 to 21, right? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, so what I'm asking them is, see, that 4 to go is going to get you about 18 to 21. And I explained this before. If you're a brand new rep, the fastest thing you want to do is show people the money. See, if I show you some money, if I show you how to make $100, $200, $300, $400 a week real easily, it shouldn't be no secret to why you want to stay in business. Why would you want to go get your permanent license? Because I understand I've never made this kind of money in my life this short period of time legally. This is the golden opportunity, and this is the way of the world, to be free enterprise. So the quickest way I get people off is getting them in the field and making some money, Joe. I start putting money in the account. Does that make sense? One new recruit, huh?
Hey, you hit what I wanted you to hit. I wanted people to hear that, particularly some of the old school people. You said 4 to go. That's what you talking about. You don't get wholeheartedly in the POL and all the fancy stuff we got. You say 4 to go. And that's 4 life insurance policies, right?
Right. So 4 to go. So once I do that, I know that's going to equal 18 to $2,100 a business, 18 plus. And see, once you get a recruit to do that, you put incentive on the table. I might put $50 to $100 a week every week when somebody hit that. Mm-hmm. So imagine you got 5 agents doing an average of 2,000. That's 10 grand a week before I pick, but I'm going to do my 2 too. I already done it this week. So you got to understand that. Get people in the position. Hey, give them like you say, weekly goals. Brandon talked about it earlier, 2,000. That's what I'm talking about all the time. What's $2,000 worth of business? Like Brandon say, that's 3 good apps, 3 big apps, 2 good big apps, a 5. It doesn't matter. But I need you to be grown in primary. So you want to grow up in this business. You don't want to stay a baby. You don't want to stay an infant. You want to grow up. Well, let's grow up. 18 to 2,000 a week will grow you up around here. So I know as a rep, 25.
Mama's house.
Right, 20. That's right. Yeah, it's time to get out of mom and dad's house. You got to grow up. Right, 18 to 21. So long story short, as a brand new agent, though, at 25% contract, that's 250 to 350. 35, that's 350 to 450. 50% contract, y'all get it 550 to 650. See how much money people make? Now you want to know why they want to be on the North-South team? Because we buy people wash machines. We pay people rent. We pay people car notes. That's what we doing over here in the North Side, Jokes. We paying bills, Coach. That's how I get them off to a fast start. Put some money in their bank account.
Hey, I wanted to say, as he was talking about that, when we had our conversation last week, and he said the guy said he didn't have the money to get started. Rodney said, okay, so you want to do it? The guy said, yeah. He said, okay, when we're going to do the 4 to go plan. We're going to go find four sales, and we're going to get you licensed. We're going to get you in. Now,
I got a young lady right now I'm working on. We wrote up our first one yesterday. Her birthday Tuesday. She said she gonna knock off all her folk before the weekend. We wrote our first one yesterday.
Now I'm telling you, Darla, Angie, if Carletta's on here, you all remember when we didn't have nothing else. We didn't have Zoom. We didn't have come out and have a computer in the office. We couldn't get nothing. We didn't have the 800 number with the home office. When a person came to that meeting, that's why I told y'all that we took Ron Hill in the back room and we said whoever set the most appointments to go sell some insurance, we're gonna give him $25, and he won it. We had a number of people did that. We had people who would leave our meeting. The meetings always start at 7 or 7:30. It'd be over with at 9. They would leave our meeting and go do their 3 training sales that night. They would do them that quickly. And so one of the things I was thinking about is now, first and foremost, and it came from Charles. Charles said our highest paid product is life insurance. And he said, we got to always remember we in the insurance business. It ain't no shame. You know, we want an ALC. When you listen to Gary Carnegie and he talks about, we in the insurance business. And they always tell us to get people in the field within 72 hours, get them running on that insurance. Now you think about this, and me and Ronell used to talk about this when we used to go to the mall and we sit around and said, you know, Ronell, every day people apply for jobs to sell life insurance. Every day. They actually looking to sell life insurance every day. And people are buying it every day. There are people who are looking for it. And so we got to stay on that. We sell insurance.
Come on.
And part of the qualification, we told them when they would join us, you can't go to school until you do your 3 training sales. We had record people doing their 3 training sales because they all want to go to school. See, school is equated with success. So when they join us, they want to go to school.
That's right.
That seems like it goes with the flow. But we said you can't go to school unless you do 3 training sales, record training sales. It wasn't no problem. That was back in the day when Angie would do 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, no effort on a monthly basis. She'd get up at the fast start school and she'd be sweeping, you know, because she had beat, you know, if you won in all categories, you get to sweep. She get to sweep. Those were the days when we would say, we'd be at the door and Darla would pull up, we'd be looking at the car and we'd be, Darla, because we understood we were in the insurance business. And that's something we can get mixed up with, because sometimes we hiring people, we kind of delicate with them, particularly when they come, because we don't want to run away. When they say, yeah, I want to do it, we be like, oh shit, what do I do now? Okay, here what we gonna do. You be hoping you don't say nothing wrong, where they leave, where they disappear. Because the next day, if you can't find them, or the next couple days you can't find, you say, what did I say to them? What did I do something wrong? Did I operate it different? That's why I always say, get them in the field as quick as possible, get them in the motion of selling some insurance as quick as possible. That's what we do. That's what people are gonna tell them that we do. I don't care how much fancy stuff we talk to them about and all that. They're gonna say, oh, you selling insurance. They sell insurance. You know, and you want to get your numbers up, you've got to start selling in bunches and selling quickly, because everybody needs what we have. So I just want to interject that we in the insurance business. We're going to talk about securities. We're going to talk about investments and so forth. Only a percentage of us have those. And believe it or not, insurance pays more than investment. We talk about those numbers with investments, but Gary Carnegie has cracked over 2 million, and he does insurance on. He'll tell you. Solomon Johnson said all he did was insurance. That's how he got to 1 million. Gary Carnegie went to the cleaners. Now you all check this out, because people will quit this. And I said, well, you quitting to go do what? Well, it just ain't working for me. Then you find they ain't doing shit. They at home or they sticking with the job and say, well, you could have stayed and not done nothing because you don't know who you might run into. So Gary Cornegay went to the cleaners one day. And while he was in the cleaners, this Hispanic guy walked in. And so Gary got his nerve up and said, hey, do you keep your options open for extra income? We looking for some sharp people who want to make extra income. The guy said, yeah. Now, of course, Gary runs up, and they said, yeah, because sometimes y'all program that they're going to say no, they ain't going to want to do it. So that's sometimes why we get that result that we get. But the guy said, yeah. Gary didn't even know him. He brought him in. Today, y'all may know him, Art Martinez. Art Martinez, $500,000+ earner, Hispanic community. All because he went to the cleaners and said something.
Come on.
Any of us can do that. We all over the place. We never know. That's what's so great about Primerica.
Yes, sir.
One recruit from a circle. Man, you don't know who that one is going to be. But hell, if I have to wait a lifetime for that one, it's worth it. So what else am I going to be doing? What else am I be waiting on? I would hate to quit and have to call and say, well, Chuck, I got this guy. He want to do insurance. I thought about you. He probably would be good, and he come and join. Or you quit. The guy, Willie June, recruited Ronell. He got frustrated. He quit. Now, Willie June, when I was training him, we was all in the projects and everything. Wherever he said he wanted to go, y'all know how we field trainers are. We're going to help. We're going to go to make them win. But he gave up for no reason. He didn't go to do something else or go work at another insurance company. He just gave up. That don't make sense. Not with this. This is about life, guys. So I just wanted to share that. And so to talk to us about the cycle, the success cycle with Primerica, I got a lady coming on. We talked about it last night. We said this is some great information. So let's bring on Miss Charlotte Douglas, the star of our opportunity meeting too, Miss Charlotte Douglas.
Come on.
Thank you, Coach.
Let's go, Charlotte.
Good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Listen, you all, this has been some awesome information. I always think about this scripture. It says that God has given us everything we need for life and godliness through our knowledge of Him. And so related to the business, we have everything we need, all the tools that we need to be successful in this business. And like Darla said, we just have to decide to use them, right? So I was going through POL, and this is some similar information, just like the Dash to District, the KT booklet, all the things that we use. And you all may have seen this before. I had not, and I found it on POL. So you go in here to POL and go to field support, field technology, and sprint to district. Y'all been in there before? Seen that? This is a booklet.
Don't see it today.
You're gonna see it today, right? So then you say, just go to sprint to district planner. So this is now this booklet is pretty long. There's a lot of pages in here. Sprint to district planner. Okay, so now I was looking at this and I ran across. So I said it to George. I was like, this is some awesome information. Of course, this is something that you can refer to. We're not talking about going through the whole thing or anything like that. But when you get somebody in, just like George was saying, well, we wondering what we're going to do with them. We have everything. We got the blueprint. It's already here. And, especially tools like the Dash to District. But, and it welcomes them to Primerica, just talking about them, us recognizing that they're committed to being a success and it's important to us. So this planner has been specifically developed just for you, the new recruit. The concepts and guidelines you'll find throughout the planner were designed to get your new business on the fast track. So we're talking about fast track. It talks about that throughout, how we want to get you off to a fast start. And this also is a good guideline, or it could be a good manual for training the trainer, so the trainer will understand too what the process is. Because I think a lot of times when we get started or we get people started, we're still working on our belief level. And if we have something to back us up, if you've gone through this and you see why we do the process that we do, that's going to reinforce what you do in your belief level. And it's going to translate to the other people. It makes sense, you all? So we talk, okay, the welcome, determine your goals and dreams. We're talking about writing those things down. And some of these things we've seen in other tools that we have.
That's
Goals and dreams. I'm sorry.
That's the district.
Yeah, and writing those goals down. The success cycle. So here's what we're looking at right now, because like I said, there's so many things in here, and you all have actually gone through everything that I was going to talk about as far as this goes. But it says your success will depend on learning the success cycle, understanding it, using it yourself, and then teaching it to others. So here's another thing too. A lot of times when we're talking to recruits, if we don't use that dash to district, or if we don't use some information, that the company has given us to use, a lot of times, how people looking at you like, okay, you want to just make money off of me. What we gonna do? I don't, they're not trusting the system or whatever. But these are some concrete things and tools that we can use that they can look at. You can pick it up. We can refer them to it. They can download it and refer back to it. But this is our system, the success cycle, and it's our system. So y'all seen this before. The first thing, we get that recruit. You talk to them one-on-one across the kitchen table or the Zoom. I'm doing Zoom myself, but we talk to them and we recruit them. And then you set up the orientation. Now, the ideal thing, like George says all the time, is if there's any way that we can do that orientation the same day we recruit them and we do that IBA, the sooner, the better, because they're the most excited when they first say, yes, I'm in. Okay, so we get that orientation done. So we're going to go over, through the process. And now one of the things maybe that we didn't talk about earlier today is the conversation that we have with them when we're talking about setting up their training, is to make sure, they know that they're the cheerleader. They know that, on appointments, they're not to talk unless we ask them to speak. We know that they may have a lot of questions. Just write them down and we'll talk about them after the appointment, so we can maintain control of this process, and then talk to them after the appointment, because they have a tendency to bring up objections that the appointment they may not even be thinking about. So just to control that process. Then when we're talking about the field activity, so we talked about this, all the resources that we have, making those lists. Darla went through that in the KT booklets, so we know the resources that we're using for that. The 911, the family tree. You may do references on that person. So all of those things, steaming, all of that, to make their list. So whatever, works well for you. And then we go through the list and we're going to qualify the list, make sure we're qualifying the list, the top, the macho. So, we want to focus on 5 pointers, but we do 4 and we do 3. But whenever we do the 3, like George said, it's that female that's taking care of the children that works. So when we're setting that up. Now, one thing that you all may not have ran across this. You may not have, but I have. So a person asks me, well, why do I have to do a list? You want me to go into my market? Of course, this explains, the warm market and why it's important and all of that. But they're looking like, why don't you just take me on your appointments? Have you ever had that? I have. Okay. So the point I wanted to bring up is, of course, we still, especially if you met them on Facebook or something, so we don't really know them, we still need to know what their credibility is. So one of the ways to bring that point across is that we have to train them in their warm market, because we can tell right away about their credibility, especially if you got somebody saying, I don't know nobody, or I've gone through my warm market with other businesses or whatever. So that's kind of like a red flag if they're saying there's nobody gonna listen to them, whatever. So I just wanted to bring that up because that comes up sometime. But notice in this success cycle, field activity comes before pre-licensing, before they go to school, because if we put them in school first, even though when we do the IBA, we're scheduling the class, remember it's important to get them in the field, just like we were talking about, get them in the field as soon as possible, because if they're not crusaders, we want to turn them into crusaders, right? We want to make sure that we do their F&A or their personal plan, because if we, once we go on those appointments, you know, people be looking at them like, do you have any of this? Or, you know, do you have the life insurance? But we want to make sure that they have the products as well. Then you know, after the field training, like I said, then we setting them up to go to class so they can concentrate on getting their license. Field activity first, then the pre-licensing. On the appointments, then of course we're going to educate the families. They're going to do business. Back to the 8531. So we're focusing on getting those numbers of appointments set so that we know that we're going to have a certain amount that's going to buy, and we're going to have a certain amount that will join the business. And getting the referrals. Okay, so the referrals, when we go on appointments, we already talked about that too. The referrals, the beneficiaries, the client survey, if they're joining the business, the references, that's part of the cycle. Now we're looking at the appointment or the prospect becoming a recruit as well. Back to step one. So with them, we'll be back at step one to get them started in the business and take them through the same cycle. So of course, like I said, all this is very familiar, but it's like a blueprint, a roadmap, something that we can have in our hands, we can use and keep us focused on how we get them through the process and building our business and helping them build theirs as well. So that's basically what I wanted to just cover that briefly. Like I said, everybody said everything, you know, as far as the specifics, but this is a guideline for us. And this manual here, I mean, it could be used for, you know, getting people through the process. Like I said, what's next? They talk about the 8531, everything that we talked about, and all the resources and tools that we need, the STEAM list, everything is in here. How to get, you know, help them get the names.
Charlotte, go back to that success cycle, that circle again, real quick.
Okay.
Just as a reference point on that, Angie, you often you don't want us to hear something that you don't want us to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to get okay.
When you look at this, a lot of times when you get a recruit, you want to know what's the process, you know, especially if you're new, what is the process? How does it flow? Now, this is the ideal way for it to flow. Like number one, you know, to its outline in a number fashion. And so, you know, these are the steps that they're going to go through as you look at that, steps that you should have gone through too. And so it's outlining that. That way you don't have to guess or wonder, because sometimes people still do. They start, well, what is my recruit doing? What are you all doing with my recruit and all that? Is going through this cycle, because this is one of the first systems that you get with Primerica. Now, Primerica has systems in place that we're all a part of, but now we have to get our own direct system in place that encompasses this too. Every leader system has these things in it, but you know, some do things a little different than others. Some recruit on the very front and some recruit on the back. There's no right or wrong. It's just the system that organization or team is doing. But that kind of outlines that. So that's what I want to point out, Charlotte, that now they know the cycle that the recruit should be going in. And then everyone on here should be being trained to become a field trainer, because to go to where we want to go, we're going to have a lot more field trainers. People can go out there and do it effectively. So this kind of gives you a track record of a direction to go on. So, okay. So do you have anything else?
That, I'm sorry.
Do you have anything else?
Oh, okay. I thought somebody was saying something. No, basically, this is what we had chosen to cover, out of this booklet here. But yeah, basically, as long as we got a system and we have a roadmap to follow, then we can duplicate our system as well. Just following these steps,
Mm-hmm.
it makes it easier to duplicate and to keep ourselves and our recruits on track.
And that was me, Charlotte. I was saying that I like that Sprinter District because it really encompasses everything that was shared today, and it even has the STEAM on there and just some other stuff that we can look through and find, and you really can hold your on this, especially with, like George said, it gives them as a field trainer outside of their upline when their field training the district that they can follow.
Absolutely. It's trainer with this book. And look, this is my turn to use a big word. We have a plethora. So that was all.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, yeah. But look at the 100,000 people, the people who are making 200,000, the people making even 50,000 that are growing from this drive. But we got to seize the moment. They used to tell us that it's a window opening with everything. And if it was easy, they wouldn't need us. You got to keep that in mind. The opportunity would not be open for us. Other ethnicities will run ads. If all they had to do was just run an ad and people answered, then white folks be running ads in our community and people be answering. They say, well, we don't need to recruit nothing. We don't need to pay them all that money, But no, they need us. And you applaud the difficulty. What you say with the difficulty is, I'm going to be a student of the business. I'm going to learn what I need to learn so I can earn what I need to earn. And once you put yourself in that position, the lifestyle that you can afford, you can create a heaven on earth before you go to the heaven on eternal life.
Come on now.
And so it's something that we have, it's all in how we think. And they program people to think in a negative frame of what can't happen or what won't happen. And we got to go beyond, we got to claim victory early on, even if it don't make sense. Somebody say, well, this ain't happening for you. This ain't happening for you. Why are you saying you're going to win? Why are you saying that people going to receive this? Why are you saying, what is your vision with Prime? Where do you see yourself going? Where do you see yourself? Remember I told you I would be in meetings and Charles would have a fast start school. He have a room full of people. And I said, one day I'm going to have a team like that. One day I'm gonna have a group like that. Y'all know something else that I said that might be kind of crazy. I said that one day I'm gonna have the biggest white organization in the business. It's gonna be a white leg that's gonna be phenomenal.
Come on.
Yeah, come on with that white leg, Coach.
I'm looking for a white and a brown leg.
You got to think those kind of big thoughts so that you can move, but also you will have room for others when they join you. They joining you not Primerica, but your vision. Where you say, without vision, the people perish. I thought about that. I said, some of us, what is our vision with this? What do we see happening? What do we see? How many RVPs we gonna have? How much money we gonna be? A lot of times we'll say to them, I want to make $1 million. But how many RVPs does that take to make $1 million? How many appointments do we have to go? How many recruits do we have to get to that $1 million? If that's your goal, or to get to that RVP promotion, or to get to whatever your goal. But that vision of yours that's internally in you is what's going to create the movement, is what's going to attract people. It's like they say you catch Primerica. When you start catching the ghosts, they told a story in this self-improvement book about this guy. They were mining for gold. Those gold miners back in the 1800s, they didn't let us do it though. But anyway, they'd be looking for gold in the river and panning and all that. And, they wasn't having, a lot of them they wasn't hitting the gold, but they kept going. They kept the faith because they knew that was the answer to kind of life they wanted to live. And so one day a guy found a big nugget. And so when he found the big nugget, y'all may have heard this story. Well, when he found the big nugget, he said, oh, I can't tell nobody this, because first of all, they might have came and killed him and took his claim. So he kept the secret, you know, so he hid the nugget. And so, and he realized that there was some more there. So he went into town to cash one of the nuggets. And all of a sudden, all the people in town were following him. And he was like, what in the hell? Where everybody following? Because they said that they could see. It was emanating, it was glowing from him that he had struck a gold mine. Primerica is just like that. He dug, he looked like he wasn't winning, all that. And then one day, Gary Cornegay was at the cleaners and he said something to Art Martinez. And the rest is history. That is an example that it can happen for you. Queen B. Griffin, what you got for this morning?
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey guys, we've had some awesome information. Want to share a little bit something with you. I know we all are running toward the end of the month as well as the end of the year. So we got two things going on there. And as we reflect back over the year, if we look back at our numbers, and if our numbers is not quite where we want them, let's look at recruiting for a minute. Let's say that you said you want to recruit at least 10 people a month, and you didn't reach that 10 people each month. You didn't get your quota in like you desired, but now we're at the end of the year. And so you look on and you say, dang, gone it, I'm only 89 people. I need a few more to make my 100. Guess what? We still got enough time to make that happen. So I'm going to share a little something with you. Do I have the control, George?
Yes.
Okay, great. They spoke some things with us yesterday, and I think that we all need to remember and put into effect, because you want to make sure that whatever we're doing, first thing that is, it is in compliant, okay? Everything that we're doing, we got to make sure that what we're doing, that it is in compliant. That makes sense, guys? You're with me, right? Mm-hmm. And so we know that a lot of times you can go out here and you'll say, well, I looked on so-and-so's page and this is what they're doing and they're doing that. So I copied that. You cannot do that, because sometimes things that they have out there may not be compliant with Primerica, okay? But you know what? Everything we need, which have been said already, it's already in the book. It's already written. All we need to do is go copy and paste. So I'm gonna share a little something with you guys. You guys see my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna show you because I spoke about recruiting, right? And so when we talk about recruiting, if I didn't make the numbers that I really wanted for my recruits, there's something we can do right now to go and change that. We can change by the end of this year where our recruiting is at by simply going into our recruit manager, okay? And I think I shared this a while back about going into our recruit manager. So if I go into my recruit manager and I click on the base shop and I want to go over here, I'm gonna tell her I wanted to actually click on all of my people. I wanted to click every recruit that I've ever had in the business, okay? And so if I click on there, and it'll bring up every recruit that I actually have ever brought in. And so once I bring that up, it will literally go in, and this is just for December. I want to go here and get every recruit that I've ever brought into the business in my base shop, period. Okay. So hold on here. Let me go in here and change this. I really want all of them.
You got to reshare your screen, yeah. Queen. We can't see.
Okay. I will. We want to bring up every recruit that we've ever brought into the business. Hold on, I'm gonna reshare a minute because I don't have put up just yet. Every recruit that we've ever brought in, and you can actually literally go in and begin to send emails to all of your people that you've ever brought in the business, guys. And what I did, I went in there and I actually did it. And I just started sending them. I'm trying to get this so I can bring it up real quick before I bring it over to you. But anyway, because I'm in a hurry here, trying to hurry get this done so we don't be in here all day. Let me do my share the screen again. Hold on. Okay, did it come up? Share. Let me share. I thought I told her to do new share.
You might have to unshare and then share again.
Okay, what do you see now?
Oh, there it is. What's
okay.
up?
Okay. So anyway, when we go into our recruiting thing and we go in and we just start looking at all our recruits, there is a page that you can go in here, which for sake of time, I may not pull them all up right now. Let me see here, Phil. Let me just pull from 2019 and I'll go through to now. So I'll go in here, right? And I'll pull up all my recruits. And so what I do, I go over here and because you have an email for them, right? So I'm gonna click on this girl's name here. Go over here and you can actually click on their email and the email is gonna come up. So what am I gonna do with this? I'm gonna go over, which I'm gonna show you to make sure that we are legit. I'm gonna go over here into our book. Remember now, you go into your recruits first. You put up your recruits' names because you know who's doing and who's not doing, right? And so you go in here and you get all these recruits that we got, 100, 200 of them, and you go in and you get all those recruits. But to make sure that I am in compliance with the company, I'm gonna go to the handbook, okay? And so you say, well, what do we send them? Well, whatever you send them, you wanna make sure that you are, can you all see, do I have to continue to keep sharing?
We can see it.
Share again.
With you.
Okay.
We can see it.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go over here. Notice I'm in the handbook. Have any of you guys actually went into the handbook and pulled stuff out of it for you to use? Okay. You go in the handbook and you click on recruiting. Okay, so I clicked on recruiting, so it's gonna bring up a lot of topics for me. So I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna say, okay, so what can I get out of here that I can use? So I'm gonna go to the printing and stuff that they say that I can use. Notice now, I'm gonna just go down here. They've got just about every doggone thing you can get. Check that out. Can y'all see that? Mm-hmm. We've been going on Facebook, getting everybody else's links, right? And that's cool, that's fine. But if what you're getting, pardon?
Taste of egg. Just egg down, huh?
Okay, we're gonna need somebody to mute their phone.
I got it. I got him.
Thank you, love. Thank you.
I called him.
Thank you. You're so sweet. Okay, so here we go. We got this recruiting. Now, I don't know, like I said, I don't know who all have actually went out and looked at this. This is legit. This is bona fide, and the company is not going to smack your hand and you will not get dinged. You can go in here and get anything you want. All you do is copy and paste it. Remember, I brought up the recruit. Mm-hmm. All you do is go over here and copy whatever you want and paste it and send it. Not just to my recruits, but these are things you can actually use on Facebook. You can use on multimedia. Look at this one here. Earn what you're worth. Keep your full-time job. Start part-time. Start part-time with Primerica. We'll show you how to build your business. Now, here's the thing. Anything in here you can use, but you know what you cannot do? You can't change it. You got to use it exactly like it is. A lot of time I'll send out letters to the people who have been in the business and I haven't heard from them. I go right over here and get it. Look at this one about women. We were talking about Primerica being the best place for women to work at, right? Look at this. Women, wake up. Most women will be in charge of their own finances at some point. Didn't somebody say that this morning already? So are you prepared? We'll empower you with valuable financial principles. Then you can earn money as you pass them on to others. Now check this out. Can you see yourself sending that email, sending that text, Facebooking it, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever you want to use it? You can use this. We can use this stuff to generate our recruits and get people in before the end of the year. Okay? Have anybody used this before? You see, no. Everything that we got, everything we need, they've said that already this morning. It's in the book. Primerica have given us everything we need. I asked a while back about the military, and I actually forgot about them having a military one in here. But look at this, military personnel. We could have used this. Yeah. Retiring soon, Primerica offers unique entrepreneurial opportunity, part-time or full-time, institutional provided. instructions provided, great compensation, potential for more information. It's there. And all you do is put your name and phone number. Long as you don't go on here and start changing and trying to get cute with it, you will not be in trouble with the company. Now, one thing the young man said yesterday, he says, by us being COVID, he says that, working from home, they have more people to do nothing but watch and make sure that we do the right thing. So no need of getting ourselves in trouble. Everything we need. Now, this is one of them. One page. They got so much out here that you can use, guys, to keep and build your business. And so I was looking at the recruiting part, simply because we know we do the recruiting part of our business. If we bring in the recruits, we can build our business and have a stronger closing than we normally would, right? So basically, all we doing is copy and paste, go in and get what you want, copy and paste. Now, I did something else that I went back and I got all of my terminated people, those who had terminated their business and the business just fell off. I went back and got them. Now, you don't have to do what I did because I'm kind of special, okay? So what I did with mine, I went and color coded. I'm just a little special. Because I want to be able to look at that and see, when I look at this thing, what am I looking at here? Who are my people? How can I help them? So what I I went in here and I looked at all of my people. And I'm like, oh, so what I did, I color coded them. And each one of them, if you notice down here where it's talking about 11 lost cases, 6 left messages, these are people I have called and color coded. The only color I really don't like is this kind of gray taupe color. Y'all see that? Mm-hmm. I don't like that, because that says I can't get them back. Why can't I get them back? I can't get them back because they don't pay their bills. You know, people that you have gone to and you talk to over and over and over, and they don't pay their bills. You don't want to keep writing on them. I hate to say it, they're lost cause, right? And so I didn't just stop with them. Now, those people that I pulled up right then, the ones that I pulled up that are only for 1 year. No, those are 2 years. But out of that 2-year list that I pulled up, it gave me like 10 people altogether that I was either able to set them up to do their appointments with, or go ahead back and get these other people ready so that I can get them reinstated, right? And so when we're reinstating the people, I'm telling you guys, this thing is bigger than us, because we got people that really been waiting for us. We got people been waiting for us to call them, but because we figured, oh, they're wasting time, let's go move on to the new people. Go back first. Get all those people that's terminated. What I did, I pulled it up on screen. You all see, now this screen right here, these are my active people. I pulled it up on screen, okay? And so by me pulling it up on screen, what I did, it allowed me to go through, I'm gonna move this up because I don't want y'all in these people's business and know these names. Some of these names could be some of your cousins or something, I don't know. But these are my active people, okay? So what am I gonna do with my active list right now? Right now, I'm calling all these people, guys, and I'm telling you, I've started this already. I've called these people and I say, hey, it's the end of the year. I know that your life will change because most people's life will change dramatically from the COVID or what have you. And so what I'm doing, I'm going back through and I'm talking to all of my clients and seeing if there's anything I can change in your policy. Would you like me to increase it? Have you had any children? Going back and you calling them, it makes them feel important. And everybody I've called, I've not gotten a negative response from yet. Okay. In fact, one girl said, can you call me on Christmas Eve? I said, Christmas Eve, it is on. So I don't care about not doing a policy on Christmas Eve. They need it. And so all I want to say, guys, is that the information that we've gotten this morning, the information that has been shared with us this morning, it is more than enough to keep us up and going. You know what I'm saying? It is more than enough to keep us going, because we have been given everything. I mean, my God, it's awesome. We've been given so much more. So it's like, okay, so when you going to put this in action? Right now. Right now. We're going to put it in action right now. I got something I'm going to share with you and I'm almost done. Because I was thinking, I said, okay, this is the end of the year. It's the end of the month. And I know by looking at the numbers, and you know, by looking at the numbers on screen, on our, what do you call that? Scoreboard. But looking at the numbers on the scoreboard, I know you know that you don't feel good with your numbers. You know, we can talk whatever, but the scoreboard tells us the truth, right? And so with us being at the end of the month, we're at the end of the year, we got two things going on. We can run fast and make it happen, or we can sit by and watch others run past us while they make it happen. And I think this group, and we just don't say that. Never think that because a person got a great big beautiful home and the best car set in the driveway that they got it together. We are trying to read somebody and we can't do it. So this is what I want to say to you before I do my reading. When I made my phone calls, I went to the heart. So a lot of us are going to their pockets. Don't spend out the people's pocket. Reach them at the heart. One young man I called, I said, we spoke about 2 months ago, and you mentioned you would want to get your plan in place. I said, so what have you been doing since last time we talked? He said, well, you know, I got laid off, so I don't know. We ain't gonna be able to make that happen right now. I said, oh, wow, man, I'm so sorry to hear that. I said, but this is what I really highly recommend that you do. I said, start at the lowest amount, but get coverage. I said, I said, even though you may be laid off, and you said you're gonna be going back to work next week or so, I highly recommend that you put a plan in place. I said, ask me why. I said, great, I'm so glad you did. The reason why, you know your birthday, but you don't know your death date. I said, so you got a family, you don't want to leave her without having your plan in place because I'm laid off for 2 weeks. I said, can you afford $50 right now? I can. I said, do you think the next month you'll have another $50? Yeah. I said, the month after that, sure I will. I said, so wouldn't it be better for you to know you got a plan in place that's going to protect you and your family for $50 and to sit around and say, I don't want to do nothing because I can't get the amount that I need? Reach the heart. When I got through talk with this man, he says, I'm ready to do it right now. He's driving. I said, well, you can't do it right now. I said, we're going to get on Zoom. He said, no, we'll get all the information now. So you know what? He was driving. I was entering information. I said, yeah, I got iPhone, great. I'm gonna send you a join me link, or join me online, and you're gonna sign this, we'll make that happen tonight. Reach the heart, reach the heart. As we move forward, guys, yes, we wanna make sure that we have income to pay our bills, but more than that, when you reach the heart, share with them why we do what we do, and why it's important for them to do something now. I guarantee you, our lives will change tremendously, and so will theirs. I'm gonna read this to you, it's called The Power to Ascend. In this final gateway, and we're going to say time period for us, you are about to gain the inner strength to leap the last hurdles in unlocking your code and reclaiming your throne. Of course, this is from my Queen's book. You begin to fully awaken to the truth that the trials and tribulations in your life are not to destroy you. Have we not entered some things this year? Have we been through some trials and some tribulations? Those trials and tribulations were not to take you out, guys, but they were to strengthen you and help you get to the next level, okay? Obstacles are invitations to arise and become more of who you are. It's going to show you what you got, what you built up, okay? By virtue of your power within you, you have a victory and dominion over all barriers. You begin to awaken to the responsibility you have impacting change in your home, your community, and your world. See, it's not only about you, but because of who you are impacting not just your life, but the lives of everybody you come in contact. That is freaking awesome. With this final realization, you can step fully into the light of your royal identity, okay? Rest assured that you're on the right path. We know the Primerica is the right path. We know that, right?
Right.
It may not always feel like it, but as the seasons shift and things begin to flow in your favor, I said the seasons shift, things are changing right now, and things are flowing in our favor. You will know that you are being rewarded for staying the course. Now it is the time to get more intentional. You know, do it on purpose. When we make a phone, we make a call on purpose, intentionally, to change somebody's life. It said, keep your thoughts positive. You know, we come around negative people all the time. When you get through with a negative person, call and follow up with a positive person. Don't let that negative thing overpower your positive, okay? Have confidence in your inner wisdom and intelligence. Always acknowledge a problem. Always acknowledge. When you see things wrong, don't sweep it under the rug and think it's gonna go away. Deal with it. Deal with that problem, guys. Okay? It says, always acknowledge a problem, but attune your mind to solutions to watch the abundance pour in your life. So we've seen the problem. Now, what's the solution? Okay, deal with it. Your overcoming has not only upgraded your life, but you have inspired others who have been watching your journey. Through your perseverance, they found new strength. God bless you for not giving up. God bless you, George, for not giving up. God bless you, Charlotte, Brandon, Nancy, Kirk, Norman. Okay, God bless you guys for not giving up. It's one thing for you to get in it and give up. God bless you, Marvina, for hanging in the dollar, Peggy, the iPhone David, and the other iPhones, whoever you guys are. God bless you, Yolanda, Michael, Angie, thank you for not giving up. Angela, Cookett, thank you. Samantha, you went through hard things. Thank you guys for not giving up. Darlene, thank you. Angela, Charles, Aisha, Willie Hughes, God bless you guys for not giving up. Because of you staying in there, staying true to the course, somebody's lives is going to be changed. Your life going to be changed to the top because the bottom is much too crowded. Thank you. My time is up. Thank you, George, for you all.
God bless you too, Queen.
Thank you.
You, Queen.
I got a question.
Yeah, baby.
Okay, it's for anybody that would know. Okay, when you have a client that at the policy in Missouri, but they move out of town and they want to increase their child right or whatever, do you still have to have a license in the state that they move to because it's an income activity?
If they move to another state, you have to have license in that state. Even though they're your clients, they're in another state now. So the primary can come back and ask them. So you moved to Tuwadiddy and she lives in Missouri. Do you have license for Tuwadiddy?
No.
Oh, Tuwadiddy.
Okay, so you better call somebody who got it. And here's the thing, guys, also keep in mind, there's gonna be a lot of times that you're gonna have people that's on your team or in our business that may not have the license for your family members or your friends. Look, listen to this. Don't you set up and say, I'm gonna write them when I get my license. What happens if they die before you get your license? Remember, I told you my sister died 12 days after I wrote her policy. Suppose she was out of state. And I said, as soon as I get them license, I'm gonna write on her. Pass it on to somebody that got licensed in a state and get the people covered. Remember, it's not about us, it's about somebody else. Thank you.
That's good. Very good. Can I give my little testimony about what Charlotte said about going back to those recruits? Just one short.
Well, Charlotte, let's take up a collection form, Miss Griffin. Okay.
Right. What's your cash?
I'll take it.
Put the cash app in the
awesome, Charlotte.
Thank you.
All right. But look, so Charlotte and I had talked about that too, but reaching out to the old recruits. So I called one the other day, got her on the phone. So we talked about her coming back into business. But in the meantime, there was a client that she had written that it's her cousin. So she told me, my cousin want to talk to you. She just mentioned that to me the other day. So I called the cousin. And so we did a review. Well, the cousin, she wanted to, she ended up getting an investment, PAC. Her sister increased her policy. And then she got another policy, a separate policy on her daughter. So I did all of that with that one, phone call, just following up with one person. But then that just reinforces what Charlotte is saying. When we go back to them, even the current clients, you always, going to generate something. You're going to get the recruit back, or you're going to get some more business, whatever. But just to reinforce you know, what she said.
Thank you, Shirley.
Can't hear you, George. George, you're on mute.
There we go. Thank you, Sean. I'll tell you, I forget that all the time. Guys, we've had a great morning. And as we go into the holiday season, it's important that we congregate and we share because there are so many distracting elements. But December is one of the highest death rate months. That's when they're forecasting on COVID and all that. But typically, a lot of deaths transpire. And I was talking to some people yesterday about our eating habits. How much we challenge our blood pressure and our sugar levels and so forth. And so us reaching out to people, like Queen B said, shortly after she wrote her sister's policy, her sister passed away. And so there's definitely a need out there. And so if you can reach out and touch some people as you around them over the holiday season and all that, that's going to make a big difference because they still very much need what we. So we'll see you at the bottom see you at the top because the bottom's yes, sir.